much. Thank you to the museums who made oh my gosh, so many magicians, museums, everyone. Thank you for the musicians who came out tonight. By the way, they're not a band that plays together very often. They were just angry and wanted to be here. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I am Christine Martinez with Arts and Culture San Diego. I'm here with our partners, many partners, including SD Art Matters, because we are pushing up against this proposal from our mayor that would eliminate arts and culture funding. This is not what we expected. No. As you can see behind me, in front of me, everywhere, this is a large and incredibly diverse group. We have visual and performing arts groups, teaching artists, community-based organizations, large and small. What's especially powerful is how quickly this community came together. In just a matter of days, hundreds of organizations mobilized. Hundreds. This speaks to both the urgency of the moment and the strength of our sector. This is a highly active and collaborative community, and we're organized and ready to fight for our funding. While you'll hear just a few speakers today, they represent hundreds of organizations and thousands of workers who will be impacted. We are urging the mayor and city council to maintain our funding from fiscal year 26. Look, we understand there's a budget issue. We were not asking for an increase. We were asking for flat funding. Now we are facing a complete elimination of that funding. This goes too far. It's an $11.8 million reduction that would essentially eliminate the city's investment in arts and culture, investment in your groups, investment in our community. There is still time to act. That's why we're here today. This budget is not final. We have an opportunity right now to fight for restoration, but we need to convince City Council to stand with us. That means showing up, which you all have done today, and speaking out. We're talking to the media, online, in letters to the mayor and the city council, and in person, like today, up in city council chambers. We won't take this. We need to tell our stories and demonstrate how essential arts and culture are to the city and how city investment makes this work possible. Please visit artsandculturesd.org. Very easy for you to put your name and address in. That will send a letter to the decision makers here at City Council saying that this is not acceptable. The city should be protecting this sector, not dismantling it. Bob, join me. We'll hear from a few speakers, and if you'll forgive us, we have so many people here who want to talk. We have a planned agenda, and then we have several others who will join us and just share about their community and the impacts. Thanks.
Take one of these and pass it around. Take one of these and pass it around. Every one of those is an organization that has funding being eliminated. Every one of them. There's a couple hundred of them going out right there to share. You can read one of the organizations that's being cut. My name is Bob Lehman. I'm the Executive Director of San Diego Art Matters. And this is what we do. We fight for arts funding. We fight to bring investments in the arts from government, philanthropy, and corporate partners because we know what's at stake. Our organization was born 36 years ago when a different San Diego mayor attempted to zero out arts funding back in 1989. We stopped it then, and together we'll stop it again. Because what we're facing is not a typical budget cut. We understand the fiscal pressures facing the city, and we're willing to share in the difficult decisions. But it's not a shared sacrifice. This is complete elimination of the city's investment in arts and culture. Approximately $11.8 million is being wiped out, removing the city's primary support for more than 200 organizations in every neighborhood of San Diego. San Diego Magazine called it the most extensive mistake a city can make. San Diego U-Tribune called the cuts massive and catastrophic. From major anchors like the Old Globe, the San Diego Symphony, and the Museum of Contemporary Art, to mid-sized and community-based organizations like Diversionary Theater, Art Reach, the voices of our city choir, and our community festival, San Diego Pride, the Avon Avenue Street Fair, Fringe Festival, even Comic-Con. This level of cuts is unprecedented. Look at the data. There's a poster over here that'll show San Diego's at the bottom. This budget allows for roughly $1.40 per resident. Shameful. No other major city is cutting to this degree. In fact, our county is exploring ways to increase investments in the arts. Other cities aren't cutting arts to this degree, and the only budget in this country that cuts arts to this degree is the Trump budget. This is not cutting one program, this is removing the foundation of our entire cultural ecosystem. And let's talk about economics. According to the City of San Diego's own 2024 Creative Economy Report, our creative sector is a $10.8 billion economic engine, supporting nearly 170,000 jobs. Most of them small businesses and independent workers. That's 3.7% of our regional GDP. And the report is clear in its recommendations: increase funding, public and private. In other words, invest more, support more, and grow the sector. But this proposal does the exact opposite, eliminating $11.8 million in funding. Nearly half of the jobs supported by this sector exist outside the arts. It's our caterers, it's our plumbers, printers, all those people who help support our arts organizations with their jobs. You don't shrink a sector that's supporting 170,000 jobs and expect economic stability.
Talk about it.
This is not just about arts funding, it's about jobs, it's about small businesses, it's about whether San Diego chooses to invest in one of its most important economic engines or dismantle it.
That's right.
And today is also about something else: broken promises. 13 years of broken promises. On December 3rd, 2012, the City Council passed what became known as the Penny for the Arts, a smart, forward-thinking policy tied to hotel tax revenue, money that comes into the city because of arts and culture. The promise was clear: gradually dedicate 10% of the transit occupancy tax to arts and culture. Ever since, we've come back asking the City Council to honor that commitment, and every year the promise has fallen short. And make no mistake, this mayor knows that promise. He said on the City Council when it passed unanimously. The council knows that promise. In fact, just this past November, they publicly committed to not cutting the arts funding in this budget. And yet here we are. No more broken promises. The City Council and the mayor must do what they said they would do: restore this funding and work towards fully realizing a penny for the arts. Now, I know many of you are angry. You should be. I'm angry. But this is a pivotal moment. The decisions made here in the next few weeks will determine whether San Diego continues to be the city that invests in a creative community or abandons it. So I'm asking you, take that anger and turn it into action, into advocacy. Contact your city council member, call them, email them, flood their inboxes, write a letter to the Union Tribune, share your story on social media. And when we finish here, we want you to go upstairs directly to City Council and show them who we are, show them how many we are, and show them what's at stake. Join Arts and Culture San Diego, join San Diego Art Matters, stand with us. Because this is bigger than a budget. This is about who we are as a city. And together, we will not let this funding disappear. We will not let these promises be broken again. We stopped it then, and together we can stop it now. Thank you. Right now, I'm going to bring up the chair of the City of San Diego Arts and Culture Commission, Alessandra Makazuma.
Hello, beautiful people. I know many of you, and it's so wonderful to see so many faces of friends and people in the arts. We have a wonderful community. It was devastating to learn that the latest city budget proposal zeroed out $11.8 million for arts and culture. I am the chair of the Arts Commission. a volunteer body that advises and supports cultural affairs. We are the front-facing advocates for the arts, and we have been leading the implementation of the Creative City Master Plan. And I can tell you, this decision came as a complete surprise. It felt like a kick in the gut. The timing could not have been worse. We were in the middle of reviewing grant applications. How many people sent grant applications here? We were in the middle of reviewing grant applications for what would have been our largest group of awardees ever, 229 organizations. These organizations, large and small, exist in every district in the city. Nearly half of the programs they provide are free and community-facing. For FY 2025, they including 5.3 million free admissions to art events and programs. The constituencies that were reached were our youth, children, veterans, retirees. We were in the heart of our communities. And beyond the cultural value, the arts are a powerful economic driver. This is the message that maybe the politicians should hear, because maybe that's the one thing that they care about. San Diego's own data shows that the nonprofit art sector generates billions in economic activity, as Bob Lehman just presented, and it supports thousands and thousands of jobs, not only the people who work for these organizations, but the caterers, the electricians, the trade people, all kinds of people contribute and benefit from this funding. And we also produce hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue. That is not abstract. When people attend art events, they spend money at restaurants, on parking, on transportation, on childcare. Every time I go out, believe me, I spend money. For example, and maybe we have to give very concrete examples so that people understand. Comic-Con received about $300,000 in city support and generated $160 million for the local economy. San Diego Pride, with a similar investment, yay! And this was from FY 2025 or 4, generated $30 million. And I'm a professor too, so this quote here is for that. Any economist, even one of my students, could tell you that an investment that grows 100 times or 500 times is a good one. And yet we are cutting 12 million, a really tiny amount, from a 6.4 billion budget. Tell me how that makes sense. In the current federal climate, many organizations have seen loss of funding from the cancellation of federal grants, including NEA, NEH, and IMLS. How many people here have lost funding? See a lot of hands here. In addition, the cancellation of the city funding will also put at risk matching grants from other entities, state and foundations. And so this would mean a double loss for many of these organizations. I also want to say that besides this decision being disastrous, it is also unprecedented. Looking back 30 years at the funding for arts and culture, the budget was kept mostly whole, even in the worst economic times. After 2008 and during the pandemic, previous mayors never slashed arts this way. And if you want to think historically, Roosevelt enacted the WPA during the Great Depression as a solution for the economic crisis to provide jobs, but also to bring joy and relief. professor of museum studies at San Diego Mesa College. I have many of my students here who are now working in arts organizations. Right now, I have students whose families are in crisis. One emailed me this morning that his mother was just detained. Another told me he has just been evicted. I'm having to stand here today trying to prove the worthiness of arts and culture. What message does this send to my students? That their city does not believe in supporting them at all. As an immigrant raised within the Chicano arts movement, I have lived the power of art. Places like Chicano Park and the Centro Cultural de la Raza, World Beat Center, the Chicano Park Museum and Cultural Center, the Front Arte y Cultura, Asha Project, and so many others show us that the arts is not just expression. They are how communities find agency, connection, and power. The arts are not a luxury. They foster economic growth, but just as importantly, they provide connection, healing, and hope. And I'm going to go back to what Bob said about the broken promise. Last fall, commitments were made by council members to keep the arts funding intact. I urge you to honor that commitment, reconsider this decision, and fully restore the funding. Because this is not just about the arts. It is about the kind of city that we choose to be and the kind of future we want to provide for our next generation.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can we give it up for the Arts and Culture Commission? Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Villaforte, and I'm the Executive Director of Pacific Arts Movement. Thank you. And for the past 27 years, we have been uplifting media arts in this region through the San Diego Asian Film Festival. It's one of the largest showcases of Asian and Asian American film in North America. Every year, we bring thousands of San Diegans and visitors into theaters to experience world-class cinema from across the globe. And we bring filmmakers from around the world here to connect with our community. Now, just last year, our president and his administration rescinded our National Endowment for the Arts funding through executive orders targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion. And because of that, many of our longtime sponsors stepped away, viewing organizations like ours as too risky for their bottom line. And like so many organizations here today, we've had to make tough decisions, cutting staff, reducing programming, and finding new ways to do more with less. So when we see a proposed city budget that eliminates funding and eliminates arts and culture funding, it feels like the city is also walking away from us. And for many organizations you see here today, city support is the difference between staying open and shutting our doors. Arts and culture organizations already run lean. We stretch every dollar. We do more with less, not because we want to, but because we have no choice. And city leadership has to grapple with this reality. For some of us, these cuts don't mean scaling back. It means the end. Now, I've heard the question in interviews recently, how can the city pay for someone else's bills if it can't pay for its own? And I find that rhetoric to be really, really disappointing. Because as we know, we are not just bills. We are investments in our communities and in this region. We are integral parts of the city's infrastructure. This city cannot rely on beaches, weather, and beer alone to define our culture and drive tourism. Organizations like ours provide essential services that the city does not. We cannot be a world-class city if we do not invest in arts and culture. Now, as you've heard, we create jobs, we drive tourism, and more importantly, we shape the identity, culture, and community of this region. We give San Diegans a sense of belonging. And yes, arts and culture play a critical role in building safe and connected communities. Because the research is clear, communities with strong arts and culture have safer communities. You cannot cut your way to public safety while eliminating what keeps communities whole. Arts and culture are an investment in our communities and this region, and they are a fabric of the city. Like the sign says, cities without art are just concrete. So I have to ask, do we want to live in a city that does not invest in arts and culture? Hell no. Do we want to live in a city where our stories and our communities are treated as expendable? No! Then now is the moment to speak up. This budget is not final. We still have a voice in the process, so make your voices heard every step of the way. Tell the mayor, tell the city council, arts and culture are not optional in San Diego. They are essential. Now is not the time to pull back, and to not continue support would be catastrophic. Fund the arts. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sophie Gonzalez. I am a student at the San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts. A resident of Council Member Vivian Moreno's district and a proud participant at San Diego Junior Theater. I'm a recipient of Junior Theater's You Will Be Found scholarship. OSP funding helps provide these scholarships, and without that support, I would not have been able to participate in Junior Theater's programs. That scholarship didn't help me take classes. It gave me a place where I could grow, build confidence, and discover what I'm capable of. The arts saved my life. I'm also employed as a teaching aide, which means I get to help younger students have that same experience. I've seen firsthand how this program helps, especially for students who might not otherwise have access to the arts. If funding is eliminated, opportunities like mine could disappear for so many others. Students like me deserve the chance to learn, create, and be part of something meaningful. Please protect the arts funding so that more young people in District 8 and across San Diego can have the same opportunities I've had. Thank you.
Okay, bring this down a little bit. I need help. All right, forget it.
Yeah, just take it off.
I'm just going to take it off. Hi, everybody. I am former City Councilwoman Lori Zaff. Yeah, woo! Thank you. And I served on the council from 2010 to 2018, and I was the one who led the effort to establish the Penny for the Arts back in 2012. And it was not easy to get a unanimous vote at the time. Long story, but we got one. And I am an art mom. My kids grew up from little girls. One of them's over there right now, Mila. They went to the Creative Performing Media Arts middle school. They performed in Balboa Junior Theater. They have done so much. They've played multiple instruments. They're amazing. I am untalented in the audience. I am a wonderful audience for all of you talented people. But anyway, the Penny for the Arts, as Bob had said, dedicated 1 cent, just 1 cent for every hotel tax dollar that was generated. And I want people to know that this affects everyone. This affects neighborhoods, communities, because this helps support festivals, cultural celebrations like the Asian festivals in District 6, neighborhood concerts like the Point Loma Concert Series, the OB Street Fair, Chili Cook-Off, all kinds of things that people don't think about. These are arts. These are culture. And so, everyone's talked about the economic support of, the small businesses, local jobs, all the jobs with nonprofits and all the wonderful volunteers that make it happen. But a lot of times there's that gap. And you can only raise so much money in a city where people are struggling to survive. And it's really tough. And that gap can be the difference between moving forward or not. But I'm here to say that I'm angry too. I'm trying to keep it under wraps. But what makes this current cut so wrong is how we got here. Between 2022 and 25, City Hall poured nearly $75 million into non-essential, non-core programs that were tied to things like sustainability, bike lanes, climate action, stuff like that. And that included about $46.5 million just for the bike facilities. In addition to that, the city roughly doubled its spending on homelessness over a 5-year period. I'm saying hundreds of millions of dollars over that period with very negligible results. Actually, homelessness is higher after 5 years than 5 years ago. So by contrast, arts and cultural programming stayed flat at about 14 million a year, very little from the general fund, and a fraction of what they were promised from the penny for the arts in 2012, an absolute fraction. It's, why do they cut things that have an ROI that's so high? It just always blows my mind. So now in the 27 budget, there's $97 million for homelessness across multiple programs and services, and that comes to $265,754 every single day. And, so arts and culture is down to a paltry $2 million. So if they found the money for those other programs, they can find the small amount of money to support citywide programs that support hundreds of programs throughout the city. So I think the mayor and the council should do things that make our lives better, not worse. And I would plead with them to maintain at least the small funding that was allocated last year. Thank you, Bob.
Let's bring up San Diego Pride.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brock Cavett, and I serve as the Director of Advocacy and Programs for San Diego Pride, an LGBTQ+ arts and culture nonprofit that produces the city's largest single-day civic event and is among the largest Pride celebrations in the United States. Something to be proud of. Our festival brings together performing arts, visual arts, mixed media, and a wide range of creative disciplines into a multi-day celebration. Each year, our Pride Weekend brings more than 250,000 attendees that come together to honor the LGBTQ+ community and experience the depth, the diversity, and the vibrancy of our community and its artistry. San Diego Pride's most recent economic impact analysis estimates that our festival and parade generate nearly $30 million annually, with substantial spending on lodging, dining, and retail across the region. Reducing arts funding to just a mere $2 million and eliminating critical grant support for nearly 200 organizations and events represents a significant step towards disinvesting in the very sector that helps drive San Diego's economy. At a time when arts and culture organizations are already facing financial strain due to reductions in federal funding, cuts of this magnitude would be deeply destabilizing for many organizations that rely on this support. For organizations like ours that serve and uplift the LGBTQ+ community, these challenges are compounded by a broader pullback in corporate sponsorships tied to diversity initiatives. We're not alone. Pride organizations across the country are navigating an increasingly volatile funding landscape, with many forced to scale back or fundamentally alter their events. San Diego Pride has already reduced programming in response to declining funding opportunities, rising city costs for emergency services and permitting, and increased safety concerns. While we recognize the difficult fiscal decisions facing the city, the arts are too often among the first areas impacted by budget cuts. Time and again, investment in arts and culture has proven to be a driver of economic growth, community connection, and civic pride. The scale of the proposed reductions, however, goes far beyond what most organizations can reasonably absorb and plan for. For San Diego Pride, these cuts would strip away nearly $400,000 in city funding, effectively bringing that support down to zero. This loss would significantly undermine our financial stability and hinder our ability to fulfill our mission of fostering pride, equality, and respect for LGBT communities locally, nationally, and globally. So we urge the mayor and city council to adopt a budget that preserves essential services, but while also sustaining the arts and culture sector that plays a vital role in San Diego's economy and identity. Thank you.
We could go on for days telling these stories of what these cuts are, and we're going to go on for days. We're not stopping right here. So it's so good to look at such a big crowd here today. Let's hear it for the crowd. Let's hear it for the band. Thank you to those who brought your kids out here to see this so they can be part of this history where we stand up for the arts. As we finish here at around 1:30, you can start heading upstairs if you could stay here and speak to City Council today. And there'll be more opportunities we approach the next several weeks to let them know that we're not going to take this. Show them who we are, show them how many we are, and show them what's at stake. I want to take this last few minutes before we end, is to just, let's get a little loud. And we're going to say, what do you want to say? No more. Save the art. Going. Save the arts. 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 Stay engaged. Get loud and save the arts. Thanks everybody for being here.